Hello everybody, Windows Tech Channel here. Today's video I'm going to be doing yet another system recovery video for the wrong machine. Or no, a different machine on a different thing here. So turns out that yes, I still have the Acer video and an HP micro tower video like on my phone storage, so I'll hopefully get to that soon enough. But today I have burned on here a Gateway MT6451 recovery DVD. We're gonna run on the Vostro 270. The slimline version I'm using here. It's currently running the factory install Windows 7. It did have Windows 8 from when I did that in-place upgrade video. But today we're gonna be putting it to Windows Vista to see how this handles it. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, the optical drive is like, I don't think the optical drive is screwed in, so like, now I gotta open the side panel just to push the thing back in. Okay. Now we just gotta reboot the PC. And this does have its own login screen, by the way. But I did put it to the architecture theme, which has the cityscape sound. So, all right, we're gonna get it to boot off of the DVD drive here. Windows is loading files. Now, an interesting notation and why I'm doing this. A bunch of you'll have like sorry, I'm trying to find what I want to say here. You'll have OEM systems like HP, Compaq, and Toshiba all lock their recovery methods to only be installed on like a certain amount of computers and whatnot. But with Gateway, Acer, and E machines, as far as I'm aware, they never lock their BIOS at all. Well, Acer to an extent, because there is a recovery media on the archive that actually lets you install an Acer OEM on anything, which we might cover that in the future. But we're going to focus on this one. Now, the Gateway MT6541. This is something I actually covered in 2019 on VirtualBox on my old channel that I can't delete because I don't have the password. So this is basically a remastered, like redone version of that, and we're using actual hardware this time. Now the MT6541 comes pre-installed with Windows Vista RTM. I believe it's Windows Vista Home Premium RTM. So we're at the DOS prompt here, or a blinking cursor. And there's the Vista boot screen. And this PC has a 250 gig SSD in there, upgraded from the original hard drive. Alright, so this is the Welcome to Gateway System Recovery. Now we are able to run this here, but the only downside is that you have to activate this build to even use it after 30 days, which I don't think you can do that on OEM system installs here. So we're not going to leave it on here anyway. I do have a video planned where I'll give you a sneak peek once I start this here thing. So next, and we're gonna click yes here. This machine, like I said, currently has the factory install Windows 7, but we're gonna put it on the Gateway factory install of Vista here. So while this is going, I'm going to give a little sneak peek at my next video I want to do with this thing here. So I kind of want to take another break from system recovery videos, which is basically mostly what I do on this channel, and attempt to dual boot multiple versions of Windows at once. For this, I will be planning on doing Windows XP, Windows Vista, Windows 7, in which I might, I was going to use a factory install of Windows 7 to start, but I don't think that's going to be possible. Windows 8 and Windows 10. Yes, this right here has a burnt copy of Windows 10. Now I also somewhere have recovery media for the eMachines EL1333G, which I do still want to run that recovery in the future. Which we might have to do it on this PC, unless if I can get the guts to put together the gateway machine I actually have. And I also was going to include something that I got but never showed off. Windows Home Server 2011, but as we all know, well, some of you don't know this, I'll say it here now. With Windows Home Server, you are not able to dual boot any version of Windows with Windows Home Server 2011. Like, the entire drive has to be used specifically for that, which is kind of why I want to use this PC as a home server in the future, but for right now, I got everything I need for this. And I might end up having to do Windows 8.1 instead of XP, because Windows XP, being the great OS that it is, officially does not support SATA hard disks without a workaround, because if you try to boot it up from the CD as it is, it will give a blue screen after it loads everything for the first part of the setup. So that's great. I did consider Enlight to add the SATA drivers, or in this case, just use my HP recovery disk from the 6930p, which is just an OS CD, which I may still look into that. But if not, then I will find a copy of Windows 8.1 to replace it. And I'm fairly certain, given that this PC is from, I think, like sometime after 2011, because the Vostro 270S comes pre-installed with Windows 7 Professional Service Pack 1. I'm fairly certain this PC is not going to be able to run Windows 11 unless if I do like unless if I make like a bootable USB using Rufus to bypass all of that. And currently on the USB is the recovery media for this computer, which you can make using Dell's recovery media creator. They do have one, and that's actually how I assume the other person created their disk archive to upload to the archive, is by using that very program, or it might have been included in the PC's it might have been included in the PC like day one. So I'm just guessing at this point. Anyway, we're just gonna let this finish out. Alright, so recovery is complete. I'm gonna take the disc out. I believe this is my first DVD disc that I put a label on. As you guys saw, I did put a label on the disc, so that way I would know like what's going on. Like, see that? Alright, now let's see how a 2007 era machine handles a 2013 machine. Or at least I think it's 2013. Yeah, this is an SSD. Of course, the boot screen's only going to show up for like a half a second. All right, and then we have this screen here. And we didn't even get the Windows is preparing to start for the first time screen. But yes, I said this many times, but this is one of my indications of it being a RTM build, is that it has this background instead of the setup background, as seen in Service Pack, Service Packs 1 and 2. They use a different setup wallpaper. Oh, and I have a neck fan on right now because, yeah, we're in the middle of a heat wave. Yay. So yeah, that's going to be running for more or less the rest of the video, unless if I need to charge the thing. Yeah, but so far it looks like we are not running into any issues. Now, I'd like to try to run the MT6451 recovery on here at some point. Although I'm pretty sure you need Hiren's boot CD for that to fix hard disk control. Although I did get it to work on the Dell machine, which has a SATA hard drive. Alright, looks like it's restarting. Or, no, it's not going to restart. I have no idea what's happening in the background. I know it's probably installing, like, the basic applications and stuff. Alright, guess we're just waiting for something to happen at this point. Alright, looks like something's happening. It is about to reboot. I haven't done this recovery in a while. I actually did run this recovery on the MT6451 at one point or another, so... Again, this is for the MT6451. Do I have plans to get a gateway laptop like that? Well, no, probably not. If we can run the recovery on literally anything. Alright, looks like it's restarting for real now. I gotta love Windows Vista's behavior on an SSD. I'm pretty sure the speakers are up all the way. Alright. Okay. Guess we're just waiting for it to go to the desktop now. Hey, it looks like the speakers work. This is probably around the time it's going to do all the drivers and applications and stuff like that. Which unlike Windows XP's version of this, it's on a black background. There it is. Already went like it's already got 4 of them done. Nice. Now again, the MT6441 is actually a laptop, I think. So it'll be interesting to see how a laptop recovery media is handled on a desktop of all things. Because yes, the Vostro 270S is a desktop machine. All right, and you can see the driver date on that is from December 2006. So this is basically the tail beginning of the head beginning of Windows Vista's release and support. This might have been one of the very first machines to have Windows Vista. However, I cannot confirm. Okay. So, we'll just let this sit here and install its stuff. Alright, looks like everything is done here, and something's happening that I did not see in the last attempt here. We have a gateway, we have an OEM reset reminder here. And we have this gateway thing in the back. Alright, and we have a bunch of task schedulers, and looks like sysprep is running as well. Put that at the top right. Make it look like an older installation here. And you guys saw for like a split second that this came up again here. We have this program installed correctly. All right, looks like it's restarting now. Now, the big question of the hour is it going to install the drivers in here, or am I going to have to try to install the Dell drivers? Which that would be a little hilarious if we had to do that. Of course, we are going to run the experience index thing here. Okay, here we are at the out-of-box experience. All right, and yes, it's RTM Home Premium. I love how it's like Home Basic, Home Premium, and Ultimate. Like, that's kind of funny. Okay, now I need my name. Okay. Gateway backgrounds. These recommended settings. Okay, let's see if it detects my Wi-Fi real quick. Okay, I stand corrected. It does not detect my Wi-Fi. Yes, I do like using the OEM wallpapers whenever possible. And I believe Windows Vista was the only OS to ever let you select a wallpaper before logging in. And we have here, please let all Windows checks your computer's performance. I'm guessing that is the Windows Experience Index, which was a new feature in Vista. All right, and now we are just waiting. All right, looks like we're booting into the desktop. And here's the desktop. Okay, it looks like it is still detecting all of my stuff as it is. Okay. So we got Activation Assistant for 2007 Office Suites, which, by the way, I do have a physical copy of Office 2007. Forget which version it was though. Oh, Big Fix. I actually saw Big Fix in the eMachines of VMware video that. Alright. Let's see what it put on the system before I go about the whole driver debacle. So we got AOL 9.0, McAfee, gateway thing. So we have okay. Guess that'll work. Adobe Reader 7.0, Microsoft Money 2006. We have Office PowerPoint Viewer. I assume that is 2003. Microsoft Works Task Launcher, MSN Encarta Plus, Napster, Big Fix, as we saw earlier. Accessories is basically just the exact same thing. We even have Tablet PC, which, yeah, they did implement Tablet PC with Vista. Because you got to remember that XP had its own tablet thing for that. Broadcom Wireless Utility, I'm guessing that is... We have Windows Anytime Upgrade, which you would want to use that back in the day for some reason. And we also have, yeah, the Gateway Game Console. I'm going to have to look into that again. And we have Gateway Recovery Center, which I assume this just pulls up the... Yeah, you can do the recovery or applications or external media. There's device driver recovery. Okay. Also in here, we have... Okay, it still shows itself as a new application. Google Desktop, which I believe is in the taskbar. As you can see down there, with that blank space with the, you know... Well, yeah. McAfee, like I said. And then we have Microsoft Digital Image Starter Edition 2006, and which also comes with Photo Story 3.1. Office 2007, and we also got the tools for Office. Nice. Microsoft Works and Napster. Pretty cool. Let's see what it gave the Windows Experience Index real quick. If we go to Computer Properties. Yeah, this is the thing here. 3 days until automatic activation. Oh! What do you mean 1.0? Okay, so let's say that's 5.9 the processor, RAM, and SSD. It's a 1.0 for the graphics and gaming graphics. That is... oof. Yeah, that is not good. It determines it as a Gateway Vostro 270S. That's funny. That is really funny. Wow. And this is a 32-bit version of Windows right here. So, real quick, let's see if we can get this connected to the internet. Okay, it looks like it's not able to find my wireless driver, so let's go to the Dell USB and see if we can do anything off of that. Alright. Factory image recovery. Yeah, this is the Dell USB that I have here. Let's see if I can find a... Yeah, this is the driver here. Or WinRe. Okay, that's the WIM. I wonder if there's drivers. Yeah, there's the WIM files for that. It's Restore 7, EFI. because I'm pretty sure you are able to boot this off UEFI mode. And that's the other thing I found out about Windows Home Server 2011 during that experiment to see if I could dual boot it with anything. You can actually use Windows Home Server 2011 in a EFI environment, which is actually pretty cool. Okay, it looks like I am not finding any drivers. So that's fun. Again, this is not permanent. I am going to set this back to the Windows 7 install of Windows... No, I'm going to set this back to Dell install of Windows 7 pretty soon. Let's do 1280 by 1024, see if it can handle that. It can, nice. What about 16 by 12? No, signal over range. And this is a Q9 monitor. I'm pretty sure the highest it can do is 12 by 8. Or... it'll go back soon, I think. Yeah, there it goes. So, that being said, Intel Sandy Bridge, Ivy Bridge. Okay, cool. Now, can we get Arrow? No, we have Windows Vista Basic. That's excellent. Desktop background. How many gateway ones do we have? Okay, so it looks like we just have, alright, so it looks like we just have those 3 gateway wallpapers. So, yeah, I mean, that's a little bit unfortunate, but whatever. So, with that being said, there's not much else I can do with this thing, so I'm gonna say this is gonna be a good stopping point for this video. And I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next video.